Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a review of this new Babyfather record, BBF, hosted by Mr. DJ Escrow!
Is the baby daddy like this over here?
No, this is not the baby metal. We're not reviewing some baby metal.
Review the babies! Review the babies!
No! 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 Babyfather is the surprise alternative hip-hop project coming out of the UK, masterminded by none other than Mr. Dean Blunt, one of modern music's true eccentrics and oddballs. He dropped that fantastic black metal record not too long ago. Real nice album. And with this new collaborative project, as I said, Dean Blunt is reaching into the world of rap, maybe a little bit of grime too, and a touch of spoken word, taking a very spacey and abstract approach to these genres, mixing it with elements of, like I said, spoken word, some noise, some sound collage. On the song Meditation, I believe there are samples of babies crying, which are weaved into the song's very laid-back, chill, and glossy beat loops. But this is a very odd album, even at its most musical and straightforward. It's a very narrative-based record. Even when there is a track here that feels like a semi-fully fleshed out song, I can't help but feel like I'm not listening to a tune or a track or a cut as much as I am just a small sliver of a larger art piece. And all albums and all music are art, you know what I'm saying. But I'm thinking more along the lines of something that would be in like a modern art museum. It doesn't feel like Dean Blunt is genuinely making hip-hop as much as he is trying to comment on the hip-hop scene, specifically in the UK. And he does it through this DJ Escrow protagonist. There are lyrics here that talk about violence, specifically gang violence, drugs, and the hive mind that some rappers or the people who are in that culture in the UK may exhibit, talking about things like, hey, who you really reppin' though? Who you really reppin'? We also catch this protagonist at one point on the record being stressed out over his baby mama just driving him nuts. So he goes to make music as therapy to kind of escape from that. He also talks about how much he loves Core Mega, how his first album just totally blew him away, or how he's going to start off with flows and with lyrics that are super simple, you know, just kind of so-so or mediocre, and then he's going to get better down the road. Like Wiley, you know, he used to be not that good, but now he's just totally sick. He's sick, bruv. During some tracks here, it feels like Dean is merely creating a caricature of the average clueless UK rapper who has these rap dreams, but he's not really at the talent level to really go anywhere. Dean very much portrays this character as just not having a snowball's chance in hell of making it in the rap world, which is why some of the songs on here are not really that good. I don't think they're supposed to be good. I think they're actually supposed to be mediocre lyrically and flow-wise and instrumentally too, because I think Dean is trying to make a comment on some of the musical mediocrity in this hip-hop scene. But then there are spots on here where it feels like Dean is sort of lending a sympathetic ear to this character as well, especially on some of the closing tracks here, where he's talking about realness and this hopeful idealism of uniting all of these different sectors of the UK rap scene. The beats are consistently skeletal, they're gloomy, they're really smooth, and there are all these weird sound effects that pop up here and there, like these cheap cell phones chirping again and again and again that kind of transition us from one moment to the next on any given track here. The very patience-testing stealth interludes on here where continually we get this looped vocal snippet of, this makes me proud to be British, this makes me proud to be British, this makes me proud to be British. And the purpose of these interludes to me are kind of twofold. I think they are there to scare away anybody who's not going to give the narrative and the concept of this record a fair shot. And also, I think the repeated mantra of these tracks fits in with the tribal attitude that is sometimes critiqued critiqued in these cuts, like the small-mindedness of being in a gang or being in a crew or being in a clique, and the small-mindedness of having this nationalist pride. I don't see the entire album as just totally trying to piss all over the UK hip-hop scene, but when I do catch a moment on here that I think is supposed to be critical, it is pretty harsh critique, confrontational, I think. I think Dean tries to do his best to paint a dynamic character here. You know, he's not all bad, he's not all good. He's not just a satirical dummy to throw punches at, but he's obviously, you know, not that bright either. Our character, even when he is well-meaning, I think he's kind of doomed to fail. I think even the title of this project, Babyfather, kind of implies that he's trying to be a rapper, but also he has other responsibilities that are weighing on him and that really are more important than trying to be some mediocre rapper. And I think the cover art kind of plays into this a little bit as well. You know, we have kind of this very artful display of pure fucking tackiness. So I've been talking a lot about the narrative here, but again, that's because this album is so narrative intensive. There are a few musical moments that I think are pretty enthralling, like the warped walls of synthesizers on the song Deep, which is one of several tracks here that were produced by Arca. The noise piece, Prolific Demons, I thought was pretty awesome as well. The tracks Shook and Motivation, I think, complement each other really well. And the last handful of tracks, I think, not only tie up the album really well, but some of the synth passages on there are kind of pretty. But again, I can't shake this feeling that I'm listening to an art installation or something. In that sense, it reminds me of James Ferraro's last record, Skid Row, which you can check out my review for that or just check out his album. Also, James Ferraro has kind of dabbled in this experimental hip-hop thing as well with the Bebe Tunes mixtape. So Dean Blunt here, like Ferraro, he's very much putting the narrative over the music on this project. However, I think the difference is that I find the music on this at least tolerable. I'm not scrambling to change to the next track. And that's mostly because a lot of the songs on this thing feel so unfinished and just half-baked. They end at around maybe 1 minute and change or 2 minutes, so nothing's really kind of overstaying its welcome, except for, again, this makes me proud to be British, 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 British. I do genuinely like this record overall, but I think its enjoyability comes down to the overall vibe and, again, the narrative and the concept of this record more than it does any single track being super catchy or musically beautiful. As odd as black metal was, and odd as The Redeemer was, there were some worthwhile musical moments on these records. And that could be for several different reasons. I mean, Dean is obviously commenting on this subset of hip-hop culture as an outsider. He's not really a UK rapper. He's not a grime artist or anything like that. So I sort of wonder if he has the know-how to make this kind of music if he wanted to. It seems like he knows just enough to reference it musically, but can he do enough within it to actually create a decent hip-hop or grime song from beginning to end? I'm not totally sure. But then again, I don't really think it's something that he wants to do. It's obviously not his aim. It's obviously not his target. It seems like he just wanted to, again, comment through this pretty vivid story or character portrait, or, I don't know, semi-abstract music audio book that's kind of theatrical in a sense, too. In a lot of ways, I just feel really on the fence with this record. I appreciate its concept, and I think generally it's a very cool idea, and I will definitely remember this album at the end of the year, but also I just don't really feel the need to return to this thing. There's nothing really about the project musically that's kind of pulling me back in, but I can kind of nod in support of the ideas that Dean is trying to put across. I'm feeling a strong 5 to a light 6 on this thing. Transition. Forever.